Good morning. This is Ron Brown. It's Saturday morning, September 10th, 2022. I'm going to do a short weekend report and clarify some things. I talked about it in a video I did yesterday on box stocks. Any stock, index, or ETF mentioned in this presentation is not a recommendation to buy or sell. All trading strategies are used at your own risk. If you want a 30-day trial of HGSI, go to the website and click on the link for the trial, and you can try out HGSI without entering a credit card. Now I'm going to begin this report by looking at this group here. This is a group of HGS Box Stock industries. You'll have to watch the other video that I put out yesterday. It's included in my newsletter about just using box stocks as your primary method for prospecting for stocks. Anyway, yesterday I'm now in my designer. Yesterday there were 679 box stocks, I believe, and today there are 681. So I just want to point this out, that this does change every day as these stocks are recalculated. Because earnings reports come out all the time, and so stocks will come and go from the box stock list. Now I created this group of box stocks industries yesterday. You can see that this is from the 8th. I did this on the 9th, and I prepended, in other words, put the dates on here. Now you don't have to do that. I'm going to do this again to show you how to make these industry groups. Okay, where I'm going to begin is in my box stock list, and I'll click through to a warehouse view. I want my primary warehouse view down under my daily prospecting scans, and you can see 676 right here. I'm going to remove the filter to make sure everything's included, because this eliminates stocks under $1 trading 100,000 shares. So I want everything included in here. Now I'll click on the spectrum analyzer, and you can see how the distribution of stocks is in the industry groups that are box stocks. These are box stocks only. So I'm going to go ahead and make a new group. I just happened to copy the name from before. This time I'm not going to prepend the date to the folder name, so you can see the difference. It's up to you how you want to do this. So what it's doing, it's building industry groups from the box stocks. Now if I go back to the designer, up here to my user groups, you can see that these are both named the same, but I will change that. But when I don't prepend them, you can see how much easier the industry groups are to read over here. And let me show you how when you put the date in here, they're a little bit harder to read, but if you want a date reference, that's the way you should do it. Now I'm going to delete yesterday's group, and I need to get rid of this one on the end. So now I have industry groups made up only, or from box stocks only, and I'm going to go up here to my HGSI index analysis, click on number 1, raw combo is sorting it. You can see agricultural machinery was at the top of the list, but I think only one stock. See, you can see there's one advancing issue in here, only one stock. So rather than doing that, I like to drop down to my number 3 view, because it shows advancing issues versus declining issues. You can see the strength was in exploration and production, semiconductors, marine shipping, application software, and so on. Just look down this list and you can see that the advancers were overwhelming in all of these groups. I'm not going to spend any more time on this. You can go ahead and watch that other video. It's 28 minutes long, but you need to go through the whole thing to see what I do with box stocks only. And why do I want box stocks? Because they have consistent earnings growth, and that's all explained in the other video. But before I leave this all together, let's just go here to the industries, and you can see that we get a different look here on advancing issues versus declining issues, because this contains all of the other industry groups that are not box stocks. So if you want the whole spectrum of stocks, just use the regular industries. But if you want box stocks only, just follow the box stocks procedure for making those groups. You can see that exploration and production is clear down here, and now it's 70-4. So a lot of those stocks a lot of stocks in this group are not box stocks. And since so many of you are interested in trading box stocks only, that's why I came up with this process to isolate those. Okay, let's start from the top. I'm not going to spend a lot of time doing this today. I want to go into my market analysis groups, click on major markets, go up to the top, market analysis, click on number 1, and then I am presented with this list of the major markets. I'm going to go in and pull up the NASDAQ composite. I haven't done this. I'm looking at this for the first time right now. I need to get the correct chart here. Market charts, just go to number 1. Let's take a look at the NASDAQ. Now, this is the Bitcoin Investment Trust. I need to get back to this one. This is what I'm looking for. And then I'm going to click up here, bring up this information, which I include in my post daily. Scroll down to the bottom. And this is what happened over the last 4 days, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. This move was well beyond the expected move for the index, and you can see that it cleared this short-term resistance here, so it's formed a higher high, and this low is much higher than this low. It's the same level as this low, or very close to it. This is a 61.8 Fibonacci retracement area also, so that held, which is not unusual. It provided support, so now we're moving up. What really stands out here is once again, volume is not that great. If we go over here to the left-hand side, still 12.8% below the 90-day, but the volume change was up 3.9% from the prior day. The EMA fan is still down. We're down 25.3% from the 52-week high, so we're still in a bear market. And percentage price change from the beginning of the year is down 22.6. We were up 2.1% yesterday, which was good, closed at 88.1% of the daily range, gapped up 0.86. The velocity direction on AD is up. You can see that this is turned up here. So it's been a good few days. Can we trust it? That's the question. Notice that there are no volume pocket pivots on this move at all. These are negative reverse pocket pivots, and the volume has been so light that there's nothing positive. Can we trust this rally? Well, we just have to wait and see. On a strong move like this, you would expect to see some very strong internals. Looks like it's about 3-to-1 only. New highs, new lows, 29 compared to 34, so those are balancing out here. But the internals were not that impressive. Let's go take a broader look at the markets. I'm going to go into my market analysis user groups, and I'm going to use some HGSI files, my broad market indices. Click through here. I need to get down to number 3 here, and now we can get a quick read on the internals based upon HGSI calculations. So the NASDAQ 100, where the strength was, now this looks a lot different, of course, than the broader NASDAQ, and this was 96 advancers to 3 decliners, so 32 to 1 positive. The SOX extremely strong, 29 to zip. Industries were 167 to 6 up. And let's go down here and take a look at the all NASDAQ. You can see it's about a little over 3 to 1 positive. So a big difference when we get into the broader markets. But when I look at the small caps, you can see it was a 5 to 1 day. All securities was 5 to 1 day. So looking at it from this perspective, the internals were much better than just looking at the all NASDAQ. So keep that in mind. But another thing I want to point out is right here. Look at this, the percent volume to the 90-day moving average volume. Negative on every one of these indexes. So the enthusiasm is not here yet, or maybe I should say the participation. Let's look at the 50. I'm going to sort on this and look at the 50%. All stock. These stocks are owned by institutions at least 50%. Let's go to a different chart and make this full screen. Bring this up. You can see that the volume participation yesterday had fallen off from Thursday. So even though it was a strong move up in these indexes, I'm just still not seeing a lot of volume. And that could mean that traders are not convinced that this rally is going to last. They're just holding back and seeing what happens before they jump in. There is a lot of pessimism out there that this rally cannot happen because interest rates are going up. I'm going to end this short report by pointing something out. If you go in to the designer, look at the custom groups, go to the top 50. This is the top 50 from last night. You can see there are 50 securities in here, or from yesterday, I should say. And I'm just going to go to the end of day scorecard. Bring up the spectrum analyzer, and you can see that this group is clearly dominated by exploration and production, integrated oils, steel, and so on, but primarily exploration and production. Now, I also want to point out something. If you sort on this column over here using my number 1 view, you can see that 40 of these stocks are box stocks. So that is why I put an emphasis on the box stock video, or using box stocks only, because you're going to find that a lot of stocks that are leaders in the market are box stocks. These are Box 7 stocks, are all turnaround stocks. Look at this, 12 of them. And then we have, from 11 down to 30 are Box 1 stocks. So 19 of the 50 are Box 1 stocks, or stocks that have shown consistent earnings growth. So when you have these market rallies, a lot of times you're going to find that these stocks are going to be the leaders. That's all I'm doing on this report today. Make sure you watch the HGSI Box Stocks Power Techniques video if you're interested in trading only box stocks.